Yo, people, what's going on? Back again with another footy talk. The lads are back, man. KG's in the building. What you saying, bro?
Yeah, man. All good, man. All things considering, all good.
All things considering, bruv. Bruv, it sounds like a funeral in here, bruv. What, bruv? It's not that bad.
No.
That's like all things considering, like you got relegated and that, bruv.
No. You know what? It's all good. We'll get into it, though, man.
What are you saying, James, man? You got to be happy. Do you know what I mean? When flipping Wijnaldum scores, you know that it's a good day, innit?
Listen, lads, and obviously the rumours have came out that he might be signing a new contract as well. And when you're a Liverpool fan, there's very few times that you're not happy. I mean, this is the unhappiest I've been over the past few months, and we're joint top of the league. So it's like, that's not too bad, do you know what I mean? So I'm gravy, my mate. I'm fucking marvellous.
That's what I'm saying. Big up everyone watching on Twitch. Big up everyone coming in as well. When you're coming in, make sure you let us know where you're watching from as well. It's been a busy weekend in football, and then obviously there's been breaking news today about Pogba. There's been loads of stuff that's been going on, bruv. So we got no bloody shortage of shortage of topics, man. That's for damn sure. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like, let us know where you're watching from as you're coming in. You know what I'm saying? Oi, Leeds, bruv. We might as well start a Leeds United, fam, because obviously
the bad stuff.
Like, bruv, like, how are you feeling? How are you feeling about it?
No, listen, I put out a video on my channel today, sick plug. But I just said, listen, we got beaten by the superior team. You know what I mean? When you just looked at the game, we just got dominated in the second half, especially. The first half, it was kind of open. Second half, they just imposed the will on us, and there was nothing we could do about it. They even outworked us. They outpressed us, which is something that rarely ever happens. So it just shows you just what Chelsea on the weekend. So cannot complain about the result. It's one of those where we put that to the back of our minds. And the next two games, West Ham, Newcastle at home, those are the ones I'm looking at saying we could be winning these two games. Yeah.
And that's the thing I always said with Leeds, even when they lose a game, I don't ever like think that there's going to be a hangover. I just expect them to just get up and get on with it and then just win the next one, innit? Like, it's weird. Like, they've kind of got this, they've got this arrogance about them of like a proper big club where you're like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? Like, if City lose a game, you don't think, City are gonna go on a run of losing 5. You just think, all right, cool, to win the next one, innit? And I think like, Leeds have that. Do you know what I mean? And because they play a certain way, like, I just expect, when you look at the lineups, I think anyone in and around Leeds, I expect them to beat them comfortably.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well in regards to the game. I mean, we just didn't have an answer for what Chelsea were giving us. You know, Ziyech goes off injured, and then Pulisic comes on, and you know what I mean. There's just some games where it's going to be too much for the players that we've got in the squad currently right now, especially when it starts Alioski in the team ahead of Rodrigo. That just can't happen in consecutive games, in my opinion. So when in the next game, I want to see Stuart Dallas go back to left back, Rodrigo back in the starting lineup, because we need that Premier League quality in order to get the results that we should be getting. Now, Chelsea is a game that we deserve, you know, in the end deserve to get anything from. But there was also an incident in there. I just want to touch on it because, you know, James is here too, which is good.
Yeah.
They conceded a penalty against Brighton with Danny Welbeck kicking Robertson kicking Danny Welbeck's foot. Welbeck goes over. It's a penalty. Paveda did the same thing on the weekend. He had his foot kicked in the box, but he didn't go over. You know, that youthfulness wanted to stand and do something. But this is where VAR and the people that behind it can come in and give themselves some credit if they get that decision, because Paveda didn't go down, so it doesn't get looked at. If he goes down, it's a definite penalty considering what happened the week before. But this is where referees have to step up and say, you know what, he got kicked just like last week. Let me award the penalty and let's show some consistency here. Now, I'm not saying we deserved anything in the game. It would have been a smash and grab draw, you know what I mean? But those are the things that happen, and that's why I understand when players go down. I used to be one of those that say players need to stay on their feet, man. They can't be big men just falling over at the sign of a trip, but they have to in order to get a decision. So, you know, there's that. But in the end, Chelsea, it was domination. Giroud was on it again. Zuma was on it. You know, Kante had a great... Kante was prime Kante again. So, you know, no complaints.
The one thing that I want to touch on, what you were saying before as well, Rants, and like about I think Bielsa, one thing he's brought into Leeds, you mentioned arrogance, Rants, and that's a fair word, but one thing Bielsa I think will do from this defeat, and I'm agreeing with you, I think what he's going to do, he's not going to be looking at the fact that well, obviously he's going to look at the fact that he's lost, but he's going to take only the negatives and make his learn from that. So that's what Jurgen Klopp said after like the Europa League final, when we lost in the League Cup final. Like he was saying, believe me, this is only positive going forward. Like it's not positive right now, obviously, but going forward, it's brilliant. And like what you said, maybe now this will make Bielsa realise, or whoever realise, that adjustments need to be made, like the ones that you've just suggested. So I think Leeds are good, like what you said, Rants. I think they've just got that bounce back ability to come back in. They're better than a lot of teams in the Premier League as well, in many different aspects. They've got better players, they've got a better manager, they've got a better system. So I think Leeds are all right to come back. And I said at the start, mate, after the 4-3 game, I was like, everyone's laughing at us for the fact we've just, won 4-3 against their newly promoted team. But I was like, watch how many nosebleeds they give other teams this season. And I've been proven right by you. So it's just that, you will be back. And Chelsea, like what you said, it's not really, no disrespect, but it's not on paper a game that you should be winning. Chelsea should win that game on paper. So it's not a must win. Obviously, it's never ideal when you lose, but at least you can focus on your next game. And I don't think he'll shoot the players' confidence, if that makes sense.
No. And just before we move on, I forgot to even mention my video. The pass from Calvin Phillips to Bamford was exquisite, and this is what I'm talking about in terms of Phillips, the all-round midfield general,
clash.
in terms of tackling, passing range. I know Souness was him to score more goals for whatever reason, but Souness has always got something in his bonnet about certain players. But Calvin Phillips is just on that level now, and I'm glad everyone in the Premier League is seeing that. Jamie Vardy, I love your backdrop, by the way.
Bro, Vardy's a living legend, isn't it?
Yeah.
Before he retires, you man need to appreciate him. You know them ones, absolute legend, bro. Sheffield Wednesday fan, bagged Sheffield United, smashed the corner flag to bits. But right at the end, bruv, man, have to respect Jamie Vardy, innit? I don't care. He's an absolute tyrant, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then he probably had like a packet of crisps and a Mars bar on the bus home. Like that's he just looks like that. Do you know what I mean? Like he probably had a pint as well. Like, he's just a wrong one, innit? Like he's just not meant to be a professional footballer. Like everything about him is amazing, bro.
He gives 25-year-olds and that hope, mate. That's what he does. It's like a swear to God. He's like, hey, I'm decent at football. I might be 24, but look what Jamie Vardy's done. So
bro, he's different.
You want to know what the funniest thing about that is? Inside of his soul, he enjoyed the fact that Sheffield United thought they were going to go on 2 points, and he just snatched it out of them on their ground, bust up the corner flag. I mean, did you see on Instagram he was talking in Nigerian talk with Indian Kelechi Iheanacho?
Nah, I didn't. That's funny.
Yeah. It's on. I think it's on Indeedy's post. I think it's on Indeedy's post or Kelechi's. It's on one of those two. But yeah, man, you just know he's the ultimate shit house, man. And like you say, you have to appreciate him while he's playing.
Yeah, he's a legend, bro. Like, I don't know. How could you just not like him, bro? Like, he's one of them ones where he's a prick, but he's a nice prick. You know them one. It's like, that's what he's like. Like, you can tell he's a prick, but he's just cool, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? Like he's harmless, but he's a prick. Like, he enjoys it. Like, when I saw the chat shit get banged shin pads, I was like, this guy, like, he's amazing. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, honestly, like he's living his dream, innit? Like he moves like he's still a non-league footballer, but he's got Premier League money and he's just on the shithousery and the banter all the time. Like you could tell he doesn't take his life too seriously, or he don't take where he is too seriously, bruv. Like he's just a proper humble guy, bro. It's not like he got to the Prem and all of a sudden he got a chef and he started eating chicken breast and salad, bro. This guy's still smashing down flipping Red Bulls and that. Yeah, like he's just a proper geezer, innit? Like I don't know how you can't love Jamie Vardy, bro. And like the way he smashed that corner flag to bits, bruv, I loved it. You know what I mean? Of all the things, there was no one to celebrate with. Man, just smashed the flipping corner flag. It's just like, bruv, that was the only thing that was in reach on the pitch, and he just smashed it, bro.
Nah,
you know
serious. Honestly, Jamie Vardy is you summed it up there, Vance, lads. He's a legend. He is a legend. No one has ever came into the Premier League and done what he's done. I mean, in the circumstances of when he came into the Premier League, and to become probably some seasons the best striker in the league. I'm not saying overall, but some seasons he was definitely the best striker in the league. Certainly the most exciting. When you see Vardy running in behind the defence, mate, you know it's game over. And I just think of the lot of times he's gave Liverpool, and that's one way you can look at a player, isn't it? You know, like Demba Ba, for example. I look at him and I just think you're a twat, mate. Like you're just a twat. But when it comes to Jamie Vardy, I look at him and I just think, you know what? I respect everything that you've done because you've came in and you've shown that work and hard can get you to where you want to be. Like, he literally got all the way to a Premier League champion. Yes, he had Mahrez. Yes, he had Kante. But he was a big part. If he's not in that team, they don't go on to win the league. So it's like...
he was key in that. He scored, like, what was it? He broke the record, didn't he? Like 10 or 11 games in a row.
And he stayed.
The guy's certified.
Yeah, he broke Van Nistelrooy's record. Yeah,
man.
I mean, you don't do that for Leicester unless, like, you're a proper guy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Like Strictly Footy says there, I always remember when he scored against Palace at Palace and he's doing the eagle in front of fans. You know what I mean? He's flapping his arms like an eagle. That's the kind of stuff. I love that stuff.
And that's what I mean about shithousery. Jamie Vardy on the pitches, he does exactly what I would do, if man was on there, bro. When he done the eagle thing, I'm like, you're a prick, bro. But this is hilarious. A lot of footballers, like, they can't be themselves, innit? They're too worried about PR. They're worried about how they're perceived. This guy doesn't care, bro. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I love about him. He's just like, bruv, I'm living my life. I'm doing what I want. I'm just doing what, bruv, shithousery. Elite level, bro. The ego thing that's the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen. Do you know what I mean? And you done it to the whole fan base, the whole stadium, you know?
All in their faces.
And then when they're booing him, he's loving it.
He loves it.
He's loving it, bro. Like, that's giving him energy. That's how you know you're a proper shithouse.
He's just there dodging the pieces of paper that's coming.
He's feeding off it, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like honestly, it's like I could have football weren't turning him on, so he needed to wind someone up. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. Nah, I love it, man.
Even the way he turns down Arsenal, like years ago when he could have easily went and they could have really done with him. And it turns out that he could have got a good 3 years out of him if they bought him. But he just stayed, he stuck to his guns. And that's what I love about a player. And how many do you see nowadays that have that type of, you know, grit about them, that really want to go on and just achieve what they can for their team? And like you said, Bants, he's not a big flashy player. So he just appreciates that he's got to the position where he is, and he's just going to work the hardest while he's in that position. And anything else that comes with it, comes with it.
Bro, he got booked and he smiled and laughed. I was just like, fuck it, bro. You know what I mean? Like, what is going... And you know the thing is, you don't plan celebrations like that. So that means in that split second, he just wanted to smash the corner flag. Like, what kind of human being are you? That you score a last minute winner and you're like, I'm going to fuck up that corner flag. Like, bro, he's mad, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, bruv, you got to love him. And if he went to Arsenal, they would have tried to tone him down because Arsenal are a bigger club. Do you know what I mean? They've got like a worldwide fan base. They would have been trying to kind of control his PR. Like, with Leicester, they just let him do whatever he wants, innit?
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And he's at the right place, man. And they're going to miss him in the Prem when he's gone because there's not players like him. There's not players like him. All of them are media trained. Do you know what I mean? Everything is, they say minimal things, they don't. And that's why, same with Troy Deeney when he was talking about Arsenal team not having the bollocks and that, everyone found it so mad. But Troy is the same, bro. Like, them man, like, they play like they come from non-league, bro. They're there and they're just there living their dream and they're playing ball and they can just be themselves and their clubs let them do that. And there's not too many players like that are outspoken and they're just unapologetically themselves, bro. Do you know what I mean? So Jamie Vardy has to get mad respect, bro.
And he also doesn't. Just quickly as well. I'm Vardy as well. He doesn't wait for crumbs. You know, like there's people just hoping that they're the fifth striker on a plane to Euros. He said, if I'm not first choice, I'm retired. I'll chill. You know what I mean? He says, I'll let my club benefit, and you gotta respect it, man.
That's literally what I was going to say, KJ. I was just going to say, I love the way he just went, fuck you to England. I loved it because the reasons why he done it, I loved it, mate. That's the exact thing that you should do. If you're just going there to sit on the bench, there's no point in you going there.
Absolutely.
No point.
But the thing is, Michael Carrick should have done the same thing, but he didn't. There's so many England players that when they're getting snubbed, they're too worried about what the fans say. So they're like, I'm not going to openly retire. Do you know what I mean? Like, nah, bro. Say, either play me or I'm not coming. I respected that so highly, bro, because he knows his worth, bro. When you're outscoring people, Defoe should have done that time ago, bro. Like, when you're the top English scorer, When you're the top English scorer in the Premier League and you're not starting games, don't go.
Yeah.
Nah, that's it. That's what you got to do.
Simple.
No, I mean, there was a season, the same thing happened with Darren Bent, top England scorer, English scorer in the Premier League, not making the England squad. Then when he is, he's an unused substitute. Bro, tell them to F off, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So I respected Vardy for doing that, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, if Vardy will definitely get fined for that anyway, bro. And the club will probably just pay it. Like it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now I respect that. I respect Vardy, man. I like him, man. You know what I mean? Any player that's like that, like pissing people off, I'm all for it. Do you know what I mean? I don't care what was on the corner flag, he was kicking it. So when obviously there were sections saying that he did it and it was a disrespect to obviously the rainbow flag and all that. Do you think Vardy doesn't care enough about anything, yeah, to kick that out of spite, bro? It could have been a picture of his face, he would have kicked it, mate. You know what I mean?
How many characters have you got in football nowadays as well? Like, and I mean proper, like, because when you talk about like the UFC, you have many characters, and there's so many people to go off, there's so many storylines to go with, and some of them are faking them and whatnot. But when you've got a real footballer like Jamie Vardy, how many of them is that nowadays? How many of them is there that when you watch him, like what you said, Rants, you're actually excited to see what he does when he scores a goal. You're excited to see just how he acts. You look forward to watching Leicester because they've got Jamie Vardy. When you've got players like that who are basically box office in themselves, they're ones to keep hold to. And the fact that he's had his model set in place and stayed there just shows all the more the player that he is. So fair play to him.
This is it. So he's a top baller. Do you know what I mean? When he's retired, man will put respect on his name. I think it's a combination of the style he plays in and also the club he's at. He's not getting his flowers now, 100%. But then when you see the numbers that he finishes with, like someone said, he's the top scorer against Pep City. No player scored more goals against Pep's Man City than this guy. The guy's a real problem, you know. You know what I mean? So, and that's what I mean. 2 golden boots in 5 years, bro. Man, I have to respect Jamie Vardy. They don't just hand those things out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, he's a proper baller still. So, yeah, man, have to really put respect on Vardy.
More respect to the fact, even though he has great pace, great finishing, he didn't have as many tools in the box. And I'm not disrespecting him when I say this. In fact, I'm giving him all the more credit for this. I don't think he has as many tools in the box as like a Van Nistelrooy and other players, like other top strikers. He just didn't, and he's used what he's got, and he's used it to the best of his ability. And he's dragged it out, hasn't he? Like, he's still going. So, smashed it. And 2 golden boots, like you said, you don't just get them off nothing. Like, you have to be top class. And he's always in the conversation when he doesn't get it. So, legends of just the Premier League, let alone Leicester.
Facts. Do you know what I'm saying? But now, big up everyone in here, man. Liverpool. You, man, absolutely pammed Wolves, yeah? Like, bruv. That was a bit mad. How you feeling about that? Because I can't even lie, yeah. I can't even lie, yeah. It was a weird one at the beginning because I saw like obviously the VAR decision. Like that was definitely not a penalty. That was disgraceful, yeah. That was horrendous.
Connor Cody, a Jags, go say.
It was horrible. I couldn't believe it. When I watched it back, I was like, bro. Like, nah. You know what I mean? If there were sin bins in football, yeah, you sin bin a man for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm
because
when I saw it in real time, I thought it was a penalty. But like you said, when that got replayed, I was like, whoa, he hasn't touched them one single bit. And then someone came out and was like, oh, but he fell at the momentum because he saw the foot coming high. And I was like, bullshit. Bullshit. Mate, he just tried to get a penalty. Then he missed a one-on-one later on in the game. Connor Cody was shite. He gifted us a goal. Connor Cody, you never know. Liverpool fan in disguise, isn't he, boy? So you might have sorted us out anyway. The game itself, flawless. And I was struggling to come up with this conclusion yesterday. It's easily the best performance in the league. I knew that straight away from finishing watching the game. But overall of our season, there's 2 performances that can compete with each other. That one yesterday against Wolves and then the one against Atalanta in the Champions League. And I was thinking, which one is truly better? But then I thought back to the Atalanta game and I was thinking, we conceded a lot of chances in that game. Like, yes, we won 5-0 or 5-1, whatever. But we still conceded a good 4 or 5 chances, maybe 6 to where they could have scored. Whereas Wolves, they didn't get too much of a sniff yesterday. Not really. I never felt worried watching it, is all I'm going to say. I felt kind of comfortable. You talk about Nico Williams, someone who's been getting a lot of stick for Liverpool recently. He was class yesterday. And just bear in mind, he's had to come up against an Adama Traore, who, yes, hasn't been in the greatest of form, but we know he's still a very tricky player, and was probably thinking before the game, I am going to run rings round this motherfucker. He is being crap. And another thing is as well, he's just come off the back of having a good game against Neres, so you can see that Nico is one that plays off confidence. He's a good player, but he plays off confidence, and he was low in confidence before his previous 2 games. Now he's had 2 clean sheets. By the way, can I just talk about the Irish Iker Casillas in his prime? Kelleher, the man.
You're taking a mick. Is he really
come on,
done that?
man. Here we go. Here we go.
Can't I get excited? Can't I bloody get excited? Aren't we all mates here? Aren't we all mates?
Fair enough.
We can just have a laugh.
You know what? Have it, bruv. Have your 5 minutes, bro. Trust me. I've said wilder things this week. Like this.
Exactly, lad. Let me carry on. Believe me, because Kelleher deserves it. When he goes back to Ireland, you know this for a fact, that he is going to be getting every lash, and everyone is going to be throwing themselves at Kelleher. Let me just tell you why. He's just made his debut at Anfield, by the way, in the Champions League. Got a clean sheet against Ajax as well. Oh, let's just skip forward a few days. We play a very decent Wolves team who are in form, by the way. In form Wolves. We haven't got our first choice back 4, by the way. Just letting you know. He comes in on his Premier League debut at Anfield. Oh, with fans, by the way, and gets a clean sheet against a very good attacking team in Wolves. You've got Podence, Neto, Adama, loads of threats that can get goals. And the confidence that he shows is brilliant. And maybe I was a bit mad before, but I'm allowed based on what I've seen so far. So this is the thing, though. A year ago, Kelleher weren't this player. He actually had a lot of flaws, and that was demonstrated in the 5-5 game last season. In the FA Cup, I think it was, or it might have been the League Cup, but he started, terrible game. Shrewsbury in the FA Cup, terrible game from Kelleher again. Basically said he's not got no future. But now he comes in, and it's mad as well, because he comes into that Ajax game a few days previous. He conceded 7 goals in the under-23s. He conceded 7 goals in the under-23s. He's walked into our first team. And think, yo,
man said the Irish Almunia, blood. Yo, I'm screaming, bro.
What do you reckon that my Irish accent was all right? Let me know.
It was good, you know. It was very good. I can't lie.
Work on it. It was good. 25-8. I work on it, my mate. So
it was good. It was good, bro. I can't even lie.
James, are you worried about Alisson's injury record at the minute, though?
Oh, KG. Sorry, sick plug. But I done a video on my channel a couple of days ago, and it was about Alisson, and it was I literally titled the video "Alisson is injury prone," and it's sad. And I titled it that because literally what it is. Alisson, if you don't think he's the best goalkeeper in the world, fair enough, but you have got to put him up there with some of the best. You've got to put him in at least.
He's definitely in the top 3, bro.
That's
definitely in the top 3 for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying as well. But some people are quite harsh on Alisson because of the injury. So you've got to at least any below top 5, you're a disgrace. Anyway, we move forward. Alisson, it's just sad because Liverpool aren't notoriously known for having good goalkeepers as well. We finally get this gem, but he's not playing the level of games that he should be, or the amount of games that he should be, because for a goalkeeper you should really be available every game of the season, whereas now he's had 2 or 3 different seasons where he's had like injuries where he's missed about 5 to 15 games. That's just, even though he's so good, and I wouldn't say replace him and I wouldn't say sell him, you ask me, KG, does it worry me? Of course it does. In my opinion, he's probably the best in the world when he's playing and when he's consistent, just because I've never really seen him make a mistake. He's got us into the biggest of games. He got us into that Champions League final pretty much by himself. Virgil van Dijk gets a lot of the credit and Alisson gets very little of it. And Virgil van Dijk is still unbelievable, but without Alisson there, and say if it's an Adrian, for example, it's a completely different story for the players' confidence in front of them. So it's sad, man, but it's happy. But I'm happy to see that Kelleher was able to come in, fill such big boots and step up. Overall, though, just to sum it up dead quick, that game, overall, midfield, fantastic. Henderson, I've realised he's our most important player, without a doubt. It was either him or Alisson. I was thinking, which one is it? Henderson. If he doesn't play, just watch the first half of Brighton, watch the second half of Brighton, then you'll know how I'm not chatting shit there. We move further forward. Front three has a great game. Salah. One thing I've noticed about Salah, he seems like when he gets a goal, it allows him for the rest of the game to be free and move and try things that he wouldn't usually try when
because he only cares about the flipping numbers. That's why. And then when he gets the goal, that's when he actually goes out there to enjoy it, innit? But before that,
he plays better when he's there
when he's not playing for himself. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but he needs to get the goal first. And
that's the problem with Salah sometimes. I will agree with you.
You know what I found funny about? There was an attack where you guys were going in waves. Salah was on the ball, running forward, and there was like 4 people in support. And I just thought, why are you 4 even bothering here? And he cut inside and tried to shoot. Yeah. He tried
until he gets his goal. Wide, don't expect him to pass you the ball, innit? Like when he gets his assists, is because you're already 3-0 up. So I'll square it to Mane.
People are harsh on Salah, though. I will admit, even you sound like that. You've got not saying anything bad about him. I'm not saying that. I'm not even.
You know the reason why people are harsh on Salah, because he's crap to watch, bro. That's why. He's rubbish to watch. He's horrible to watch, bro.
You're literally wrong, lad. You're wrong.
He's horrible. Nah, bro, I'm not wrong, bro.
He takes on 3 to 4 players. Nah, you're right. You're not wrong. Everyone has their own opinion. You're absolutely right. But one thing that I will offer to you is that if you actually watch Salah and you watch him more often, you will see glimpses of what he can do in a game.
I know, but you're saying he takes on 3 or 4 players. What, you think that Salah's a good dribbler?
Mate, don't you watch Salah? Because clearly you don't watch Salah.
Salah dribbling, bruv. He's not even in the top.
Oh, here he goes.
He's not even in the top 10 in the league at dribbling. I wouldn't, bruv. He's probably not even in the top 20.
Top 20 in the league at dribbling.
In that same pot.
What are you talking about?
Like, because you say that Sterling can't dribble, even though he can a bit. But are you saying that Salah and
Sterling's close control is better than Salah's, bro? Like, he runs like he's in Wellingtons, bruv, when he's dribbling.
Who's a better dribbler in the United team? I'm not saying there isn't any. I just want to know who's a better dribbler in the United
in terms of carrying the ball and dribbling? Than Mo Salah?
No, I'm saying in your team, who's better than Mo Salah?
At dribbling? In our team? A better dribbler on the ball? Martial?
Nope.
Pogba, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Are you mad, bro? Like, Salah's close control, bro. The ball bounces off Salah's shins bare times, and he's using his pace to catch it, bro.
He's just not watching properly then, lads.
Bro, hey, listen, Salah dribbles like, when we were kids, when you've got the football on the street.
Oh, no.
That's what him dribbling looks like, bro. When you look at Riyad Mahrez and them man dribbling, those are dribblers, innit? Salah's not a dribbler. He carries the ball, but he's not a dribbler,
serious dribbler.
No, he's not. Mane's a better dribbler than Salah as well. Bro.
Never said he weren't. But that's
Salah can go past people because he's got pace, but his close control is trash, bro.
But because you say Mane is a better dribbler than Salah, that does not mean in any way, shape, or form Salah is a bad dribbler.
But Mane's not an amazing dribbler either.
You couldn't name me 10 better dribblers than Salah in the Prem. You couldn't probably name me many in the top 5.
Are you mad? Honestly, what? So what? He's a better dribbler than Pulisic? No, he's not. Wilfred Zaha? No, he's not.
Well, how is he not better? A better dribbler than Pulisic, Rants?
No, he's not, bro. Have you seen Pulisic, bro?
What has Pulisic been? Have you seen Salah? Because it seems like
bro.
It really doesn't.
His dribbling is dead, bro. He don't have an ounce of flair in his game, bro. Mo Salah.
That's mad.
ZX a better dribbler than him.
I love your mind, mate. I love your mind, mate, honestly.
Bro. Have you seen this player dribble? This player looks like he's in Timberlands.
I think you're boss, lad. I really do. I think you're hilarious as well, my mate. But that's just
another thing. Bro. This player dribbles. The player dribbles like he's in stilettos, rude boy. Like I'm saying.
You too.
Trust me, bro. Mo Salah dribbles like a bad bitch, blood. Them man need to start throwing money at him when he's dribbling, blood. I'm telling you. Slut drop Salah, bro.
Listen, I need to get some of these, Rants.
Bro, he runs like he's in a pair of clear heels, blood. I'm telling you, blood. Them man need to start playing.
Spec savers.
Bro. Grealish can dribble better than Salah as well. Bro,
Grealish is good dribbler. I'll give Grealish.
Bro.
Pulisic
I don't care.
Pulisic is a good one. Salah's up there, though, lads. You just need to watch Salah.
Dribbling's dead. In Ndombele, you lot keep going. Ndombele can dribble better than him. You lot keep going. Give me some more man that can dribble better than Mo Salah. We could be here all day.
People are just chatting mad.
Even Eze can dribble better than Mo Salah.
Ndombele is a class player, but he's not a better dribbler than Salah. He's not.
Son Heung-min as well. Keep going, guys.
Son's a class player. We're naming class players, but there's
Kovacic as well. There's another one.
Not better dribblers than Salah.
Kovacic as well. You're right. I said Ziyech as well.
Craziness.
Bro, there's bare man that could dribble better than him, bro. Like, honestly, bro. Like, I'm not saying that he's not a good player, but, bro, dribbling is a very, very distinct skill set, bro.
But you're saying
I'm not talking about his level. I'm saying he's not a great dribbler, bro.
Even if your opinion is 20 people are better than him, which I genuinely don't think.
Bro, I don't think he's a great dribbler of the ball, bro. I don't. But
fair enough, but I think he's a top dribbler, bro. I think he's a soft dribbler.
Because he's got pace, bro. That's just all it is.
You talked about close control actually before. You talked about close control. He's got some of the best close control I've seen in a Liverpool shirt. He can skip it past.
What, do you watch the game without your glasses on, JMO? Because, fam, what are you talking about, son?
That doesn't have nothing to do with it, honestly.
Come on, son.
1 minute he's there, and then he's past the 4 players. Lance, I'm not waffling, lad.
Bruv, even Thiago, your boy, can dribble better than Mo Salah as well.
You're talking about a man who's just won the Champions League. Oh, and by the way, dictated the final. Oh, and by the way, came from a Bayern Munich team. Oh, is Salah shit?
That's got nothing to do with dribbling, bro. I'm sure there's a player. I'm sure there's a player in a relegation battle now that can dribble better than your guy.
Thiago, who's using Thiago as an example, and you're saying that Salah isn't that good at dribbling.
No, I never. Bro, listen.
All right, then not amazing. Not amazing is what
I just said. He's not an amazing dribbler. That's all I said, bro.
If you're putting him outside of the top 20, in fact, mate, you'd probably be able to come up with a list of 30 with the names that you were mentioning before, because a lot of them players, I don't know how you can say they are better dribblers than Salah. And I'll admit, I have got a hint of bias sometimes, but I just think I'm speaking the truth right now. I really do.
No, bro. He's not a great dribbler. I'm not gonna lie, but he's a good player and he scores goals, isn't it?
You're right. He gets.
I mean, like Ben Rama as well. They're even saying, "Come on, bruv. Look at this."
Ben Rama, wipe my ass with Ben Rama. Wipe my ass.
Wait, bruv. Listen, Ben Rama's a wavy dribbler. Hey, bruv, can Ben Rama dribble? Yes or no? KG.
No, he can't. I'm not saying.
Bruv, listen, brother.
This is madness.
You see, look how defensive them man get off the pyramid pennant, bruv. Them man get mad defensive, bruv. It's mad, you know.
It's not even defensive. It's just telling you the truth, Rants, and just because you believe that, that's fair enough. That's your opinion.
You see what I mean?
Clearly, James, I'm not going to be able to change your mind.
Stop biting, man. Didn't you learn from last week?
KG, listen, I'm a scouser. I can bite just as hard, my mate. Trust me, I won't shut up all day. Trust me, especially when you say, oh shit.
Oops.
Especially when you say shit like that.
Hey, bruv, don't take it out on your phone, man. Do you know what I mean?
That's to take it out on something, lad.
Oh Lord.
That's what I mean. Now, honestly, though, he's a good player, but the dribbling thing, yeah, let's not talk about the dribbling. You know what I'm saying? But I hear that.
Good dribbler. I hear that.
But he's a good player, bruv. But as you said, like once he gets his goal, then yeah.
And getting back to that point, I do think he's a much better player when he plays more free. And he does have a hint of selfishness to his game. I won't dispute that. But that's because he's able to actually keep the ball. Otherwise, he wouldn't get away with it as much as what I'm trying to say to you. Overall, though, in that game, everyone was bossing. It was easily the best performance of the season. And it was good to see Klopp, you know, doing the fist to the fans at the end. And, you know, just everything. Everything was just a beautiful night, a beautiful occasion. And even just watching on telly, mate, it was just a breath of fresh air to see everything just half normal. And credit to the fans. I actually gave the fans the man of the match because I couldn't decide the player. I thought everyone was amazing. So I just went the fans are the man of the match because best performance of the season, the second they get back into the stadium. And it didn't even feel like, it didn't hear like at least there was 2,000. It sounded like there was much more than 2,000. So boss, they done their job as well.
Yeah, James, just going quickly back onto Alisson a second, because you talked about injury prone, and for me as well, reliability is a big attribute in football.
Massive,
so like, you know what I mean? Because I liken it to when we used him for promotion, we had Kemar Roof. Like he played great one game, he comes off, he looks fine and everything. And then all of a sudden the next day you get a report, oh, Kemar Roof's got a calf injury for 6 weeks. And it's frustrating because it's like you can't rely on these people to stay fit. And this would happen 3-4 times a season. So I do understand where some of the Liverpool fans are coming from when they say, if there's someone better than Alisson and he's more reliable, let's get him. But I know what you mean as well, where, you know, he's one of your best keepers, one of the best keepers. Keep him. But it's just that when you're going up for a game and then all of a sudden Alisson's just like, oh my days again. You know what I mean?
Listen, KG, I'm not going to dispute any in what you've just said there, lad. I think you're absolutely right. And that is the feeling that we get. And I think it's because we've got such terrible backup options. And, like, don't get me wrong, Kelleher has only just started to prove himself. So even though, like, I am happy about the way he's shown so far, mate, I'm always like that. But if they do start showing signs of where he's not good, but he's looked perfect so far. Perfect's a overused word, but you know what I mean. As close to perfect as you can get. So I do think we're all right, but just to say we've got a good backup keeper now. United have 2 backup goalkeepers that are better. That were better than our first choice. That's my opinion. I thought Romero at the time was a better goalkeeper than me. I honestly, I really did think that, and even now, Dean Henderson, he shits all over our backup goalkeepers. Like I said, Kelleher's got a lot more to prove and a lot more of a ceiling to fill. Dean Henderson has had a full season in the Prem and proven that he's a good goalkeeper. So when you put it in that aspect, there's goalkeepers out there to get. I'm not saying them two. I was just using them as examples. But even on my channel the other day, I got a guest on and they suggested that bringing in a top class backup goalkeeper, like you mentioned, Donnarumma, and I know it's a very unrealistic thing to happen, but he was like, because he's got 6 months left, and to get a young goalkeeper who is a great goalkeeper and will probably have the hunger to maybe overtake Alisson. But then I just went, Alisson's only 27 in himself. Don't get me wrong, if he keeps getting injury after injury after injury, which he kind of has been recently, but he's still been playing as well, then we're going to need to reconsider. But I think it'd be too soon to jump on that decision with everything that he's done for us when he has played.
No, absolutely, boy. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with the keeper anyway. It's unlucky. I've never known a goalkeeper to be injury prone.
He's injured. It's weird. It's weird.
You had Chris Kirkland as well. He was injury prone. Yeah,
but didn't he get one bad injury or something like that?
Nah, he had a couple.
He had a succession.
Yeah. David James had a few as well.
That Scottish guy as well, Craig Gordon. No, the one that was at Sunderland. I don't remember his name. He was another one that was injury prone. Yeah.
There's a lot of goalkeepers that there's a lot more than you think. And you're thinking you're only in goal. You're there to save the ball. How are you pulling your hamstring? And how are you doing this and that? And it's mad. But I think that's just the way Alisson is. Maybe he's his joints and his bones just aren't as strong as some players. And you do see it. You see it with so many players where the ligaments just can't hold up as well as other people. So it's a shame if that's the case with Alisson. But I'm just going to be optimistic and hope that it's just unlucky. But at the same time, it's happened in more than one season, which is why we've got to have one eye open and start being aware that we haven't got great options as our backup goalkeeper right this second of talking. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Big up everyone inside, bruv. And the chat's popping as well, bruv. You man still going on about this dribbling thing. Let it go. let it go now, guys. You know what I mean? You lot love it. That's how I know. So I noticed, bruv. I swear with this YouTube thing, these man just love the drama. I'm telling you, they love it, bruv. No, them man. If man are agreeing too much, they just get turned off, blood.
Yeah. You know what it was, Rants? They could hear Randy Orton's theme music coming when you started talking. Bro, they heard voices in their head.
I'm telling you, bro. Listen, this is it. This is me for the season now, bruv. Everyone's getting it now. I've had enough. Literally, if my team aren't going to entertain me on the pitch, I'm going to entertain myself off it. I don't care. You know what I mean? This is what's going on, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Cause Shane, bruv, you know what I'm saying? The main topic before we wrap up, bruv. The comments from Pogba's agent. Bruv, you know what it is, yeah? People need to put this whole situation, they need to compartmentalize it. A lot of football fans aren't good at doing that. Do you know what I mean? A lot of these football fans, have an agenda against Pogba, and then they use Pogba's agent as a stick to beat him with, innit? Because some of the comments that his agent makes. I don't agree with the comments that his agent makes. Well, I do agree with them, but I just don't agree with the timing of them. Do you know what I mean? Because there's nothing that his agent says that isn't factual. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't fabricate things. But the fact is, if you care about your client, you should think about when you say certain things. And I think the timing of this, horrible. Do you know what I'm saying? It's horrible, bro. Pogba's literally scored a great goal, turned the game around, ended up being one of our most influential players on the United app. Do you know what I mean? They break down players' impacts on the game and that. He was the most influential player on the pitch in terms of his output, ground covered, all of that great performance. Made Premier League Team of the Week, buzzing. You know what I mean? He puts out an interview talking about how he struggled for fitness with COVID and that, saying at the start of the season he was playing, he wasn't well, he couldn't breathe, all of these things. And then we're like, all right, cool. Hopefully he can get a nice run of games now. Do you know what I mean? Obviously the whole fan base still ain't behind him. There's a lot of people that have made up their mind anyway, but I don't care about them. I'm not talking about them. But I was looking forward to seeing him maybe go on a run of 2 or 3 decent performances. And then you see this crap. Do you know what I mean? And it's annoying, bro. And the most annoying thing about it is, one, if you're an agent and you're thinking about what's best for your client, you don't say those things at that time. And two, a lot of people are going to take it and then blame Pogba for it, bro. But the facts are, we knew Pogba wanted to leave time ago. Do you know what I mean? It's not a secret. So everyone's like, oh, Pogba wants to leave now. Pogba's wanted to leave for the last 2 years. So this is not news. Raiola and Oli were having back and forths, yeah, because United promised Pogba that in the summer he could go. And then probably because of the COVID thing, yeah, they just decided they're not going to let him go because they probably couldn't get the money that they thought they were going to get for him. So they decided to keep him and then trigger the extension. That, again, that's not Pogba's fault. Do you know what I mean? So he had an agreement with the club to leave and then they didn't let him go. I don't blame him for wanting to go because, quite frankly, the club is a shambles, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Why would you want to stay there? He's coming into the prime of his career right now. Do you know what I'm saying? We've got an incompetent board, terrible owners. We've got a crap CEO. Do you know what I'm saying? We've got a crap manager. We've got crap coaching staff. Do you know what I mean? This guy's come from Juventus being coached by some of the best coaches in the game to come play at Man United and be coached by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Mick Phelan and Michael Carrick, mate. Are you taking a piss? And then on top of that, our skipper's Harry Maguire. Bro, it's a circus, bruv. When you look at that, you're a World Cup winner, one of the best midfielders in the world, and then you have to wake up and motivate yourself to go into that office every day when you could be at Real Madrid or you could be, do you know what I mean, at anywhere else, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of top teams want him. So I understand why he wants to leave. They've wasted him, bro. Bruno Fernandes is the best midfielder he's played with in 5 years at Manchester United, bro. Look at all the money they've spent in 5 years, and Bruno's the first decent midfielder they bought to play with him. Do you know what I mean? They failed him, bro. So I understand why he wants to leave, bro. I'm sure there's a lot of Man United fans that want to leave and support another club, but that's not how we do things in football. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not an option.
But it's not an option. But honestly, do you know what I mean? If football was a thing where it's like with me and basketball, I'm like, you know what, cool. Like Russ has left Houston now. I don't need to support them no more. I'll go somewhere else, bro. You see what I'm saying? If football was like that, bro, I'm sure a lot of United fans would have dipped. Yeah. Because the club's a joke right now. So why would you expect a player, yeah, that doesn't have to stay there to want to stay there in the state we're in? I don't blame him for wanting to leave. My problem with what Raiola's done, yeah, is that Pogba's quiet. He minds his own business. He's a humble guy. He's just at home with his family. And this dickhead, yeah, says things that then makes the fans turn on him, and he's the one who gets to stick for it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, how's that going to affect his performances? Most of the stick he gets, he doesn't deserve.
Yeah, all it is that for me, the main thing of it is just the timing of it. The timing of it is just horrible. And I don't know whether Raiola's got something against Man United or whatever it is, but even if
he definitely does.
Okay, so even if he's got contacts with these journalists he speaks to, just say, you know what, I'm not commenting at the minute. We'll revisit this in the summer. You know, when things are when season's over, just do your client a favor. You know, think about he knows all the press that Pogba gets anyway. You know, he's not stupid. So why create some more? You know what I mean? Unless they're pushing to leave in January, which is very, very unrealistic. He could have just kept this news to himself until the end of the season. That's the main thing I see with this. Because I don't blame Pogba for going. I've always said I want to see Pogba move now and go somewhere where he can play his own role, express himself, and be that player that he was at Juventus. Because you don't just lose that, especially when you're in your prime years. You know what I mean? He's being asked to play a certain role that just doesn't suit him. So let's see what he's got elsewhere. And let's see if he really is washed up, because I don't think he is. But the agent didn't do him no favours.
I think he is kind of... People can disagree with me if they want. I think he is done. Like, I don't think he's done. I still think he's a class player. But I don't think he's the heights or will ever reach the heights or probably even get close to the heights of what he was at Juventus. I mean, maybe I'm being too harsh, but I just think... You know, you play him in whatever role, and I understand the level at Man United is not the level at Juventus and that. And you're right, Rants, it's hard to walk into work every day, see a pile of shit and be motivated, you know what I mean? It's a very difficult thing to do. However, It's just that's where your attitude comes in, because any bad situation can be matched with a very good attitude. And if Pogba has a slightly better attitude, and again, maybe I'm being harsh, maybe I don't know enough, but I just think we could have elevated his performances a bit more, regardless of the role I see players in the Liverpool team right now. And yes, it's a Liverpool team.
Well, James, just before you continue with that, what makes you think Pogba's got that attitude? What's giving you the idea that he's causing any ruckus behind the scenes or anything else like that?
I don't necessarily think he's causing ruckus. I just think the performances on the pitch is below of what he could achieve. But at the same time, I also don't think he's that good of a player anymore. That's a very wrong way to say it. I still think he's a good player. I just don't think what he used to be. And I don't want to sound like I'm backtracking or not. And all I'm basically trying to say is, I think even if a Pogba goes into a Juventus team now, disagree with me if you want, I don't think he's the same Paul Pogba. I just think that's
which
how
one?
it is now.
What, the same one that scored a goal in the World Cup final the other day? Like, what do you mean, bro? Like,
I don't think he's good enough.
And you know what's funny, yeah?
Game, but there's even some games
people talk about Pogba and Juventus. People talk about Pogba and Juventus, but the funny thing about that is, yeah, everything that he done at Juventus, yeah, in terms of his output, he's eclipsed at Manchester United. But he's just had crapper players around him. That's a fact. Do you know what I mean? And he's playing in DM. He's been playing in DM for most of his time, because even Jose played him in a double pivot as well. So he's been playing in a non-functional team for his whole time here. Do you know what I mean? He had a season where he literally top scored the team. He had top assists, top defensive numbers, top everything numbers, and had nothing to show for it, bruv. So it's one of them things where, imagine you're working in a normal job, yeah, and he's been getting abused by the fans as well. Imagine if you're working a normal job, bruv, just working a normal job, you're outperforming all of your colleagues, yeah? And then you've got customers coming in, talking shit to you all the time and abusing you for no reason. Like, just abusing you, bruv, because they just don't like the look of you, or they just don't like you, bruv. Are you going to be motivated to go in there, go into work every week, bro? Do you know what I mean? And then when you're playing well, people are still talking shit about you. You have a bad game, people are talking shit about you. This, that, bruv, he's a human being at the end of the day, bro. You see the way the fans have treated him, yeah? He's a better man than me, bro. Because I would have just not turned up to work. I don't care. I say, well, I'm not playing for you lot. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the season, Paul Pogba takes off his shirt, goes over to the side, gives his shirt to a kid, and he's walking over to the fans, and they're swearing at him and effing and blinding. And I've been in the crowd, and I've heard man racially abusing him, sitting right in front of me, bro. I wouldn't play. So he's got a great attitude, because he always turns up for work, bro. I wouldn't have turned up.
And also on that as well. And just another thing on the attitude, because you know it's this thing again, and I don't like seeing it, because Lundstrom at the minute hasn't signed a new contract at Sheffield United. Small potatoes, I know, but no one's questioning his attitude. He wants to leave. He's running his contract down, and he's let everyone know that. James Tarkowski's doing the same at Burnley. He's come out willingly and said, "I need more money." No one's calling him a money grabber, this and that. Paul Pogba gets injured. He himself, because he knows he's going to get scrutinized, is high on hospital drugs, films a video. You don't see Jack Wilshere with his 10 injuries a year doing that. You don't see Andy Carroll with his constant injuries doing that. It's always this guy. And
bro, Andy Carroll's getting new contracts and that while he's injured and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you think, yo, no one talks about it, bro. Like, it's one rule for Pogba, another for everyone else's, bro. When Bruno Fernandes came into the club, yeah, Paul Pogba's the one that flipping helped him find a house, but they don't want to put that out there. Do you know what I mean? But everyone's talking about Pogba's attitude, bro. He's literally the biggest personality, and he's the leader in that dressing room. And then when they leaked the video at France as well, how he galvanized these people, this thing that Pogba's not a leader, bro. Everywhere Pogba goes, he's always adored by everyone that plays against him and everyone that plays with him. The only crap you hear about him is from the media, bro. That's it. Yeah. Even Ollie's come out and said, yo, he's a good lad. Like, we've never had no problems with him. Do you know what I mean? Like, Mino Raiola is just trying to get him out of Manchester United by any means, yeah? And he's probably trying to get United to just buckle in and sell him, because he's talking about, oh, they're going to risk losing him for free, this, that, and the other. Bruv, it's purely business to Mino Raiola, but he's not thinking about the impact, yeah, that it has on what Pogba's got to deal with. And that's what I hate about the whole situation, bro.
Rants, can I just make sure that I'm not misinterpreted? I just want to offer that I don't dispute a lot of things that you've just said. I just think when I said, I didn't mean to say attitude. When you talk about the racism and getting all that, that's a fucking disgrace, and any people like that I don't associate myself with, and no one should. But when it comes, in fact, not a but, that was the wrong word to use. Yeah. Basically, what I'm just trying to offer to you, it's just he has got a good attitude in them situations. When I say attitude, I'm talking about just one aspect. I'm not talking about the overall player. Maybe in training he's brilliant. As a leader, by the way, I haven't done the deep in-depth research, but even from what I've seen, he looks like a leader. You can't win a World Cup with France and win however many trophies with Juventus and not come into a Man United team with this caliber of players and not be a leader. I'm sure he is. I just think what I said before, approach, the situation, a bad situation with a good attitude. And I didn't mean to say that he's not, disciplines in them other aspects like what you was mentioning, Rants. The one aspect I was talking about is literally what he does on the pitch. And again, I said it before, when you walk into work and you see the APPAREL shirt, it's hard to be motivated. But I just think of a Jordan Henderson, for example, and fair enough, he never was at the heights that a Paul Pogba was, but he's worked his way. He's worked from getting abused all the way to being the player that he is now, the most important player.
He's in a great system, though. He's in a great system. If you put Pogba in this Liverpool midfield now, he's absolutely destroying the whole league.
Rants, I just want to say to you, I don't think that's the case. I'd rather Henderson over Pogba in my midfield. I'm just saying to you.
You're
it's not
crazy.
Based on quality. It's not. I'm not though, Rants, and that's
you
fair
are,
enough that
bro.
You think that.
You
fair
are.
enough that you think that, my mate. But that just shows that you don't give Henderson the respect that he deserves. And I just think people give
even playing in Henderson's position,
on his performances.
Bro, even as a defensive midfielder, in that Liverpool team. Bro, just Pogba's range of passing alone, Henderson could only dream of it, bro.
Henderson can pass the ball well, though, Rants. I'm not saying
bro.
He can pass the ball very well.
He's not even in the same conversation as Paul Pogba when it comes to passing.
Your opinion.
It's not my brother. It's common sense, bro. You just need to watch it.
Not common sense, though, Rants. You can't just suggest that it's common sense, though, Rants, because it's not. Because Henderson's a very good player. Like I said, if you want a short amount of time to fact check this, go and watch the first half of Brighton and second half of Brighton. By the way, there's many more games that are like that. Look at the stats of when Henderson's in the team and not in the team.
I hear all of that, but you're only saying that because Pogba doesn't play for you.
No, maybe you're right to an extent. Maybe he will.
I know. I'm definitely right.
I'm just saying he wouldn't do the role that Henderson does. He wouldn't.
Bro, Henderson wouldn't even get in a 30-man squad for France.
That's true.
I don't know if you're right, to be fair. So Tolisso gets into the France squad, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's better than him.
He's not. Oh my God, Rants, he's not. You're mad. Nah, Rants, you're mad.
If Henderson wasn't English,
this is how I know.
If Henderson wasn't English, no one would rate this brand.
Disrespected. He's never been rated. Even now, you're not rating him.
Even for England, he's bloody
underrated player. It doesn't matter about England. I'm talking about club.
Jordan Henderson,
England,
has a good presence in the changing room.
He has a fantastic.
This guy is such a basic footballer. It's unbelievable.
Wow, you don't watch Liverpool.
You
don't watch Liverpool.
Bro, Fabinho's better than him in there, bro.
Liverpool, because you don't
look at this. Look at this Scouser. He's rattled, bro.
Listen, bro, if that's what your chat thinks, fair enough. I'm
sorry would that spin Henderson, bro.
But Tolisso wouldn't stand a chance. Tolisso doesn't get into the Liverpool team. Who does Tolisso get above in the Liverpool team? Please name me a name that he gets above in that
this guy, please.
Please, not KG. Do you want to give me an answer? Anyone want to give me an answer?
Man said Henderson over Paul Pogba. At what?
Are we playing both? 100%. Are we playing both? Any Liverpool fan that trusts me.
Or is it bear pong, blood? Because it's not football.
Believe me, you can come up with any jokes that you want, man. I'm telling you facts. Henderson is
it bear pong, blood? Is it bear pong, though, blood? Is it bear pong?
In our system, he's a more hard-working player. That's why I'm talking about performances.
Everything else you mentioned,
fair enough. But hard-working on the training pitch. Henderson has gone from the shit of the shit to being where he is now, and he's done it as the captain. That just shows you don't know what you're on about, Rants, when you're talking about attitude in a player on the performance alone. I'm not talking about all them other aspects. Performance alone.
Man said he's more hard-working. Imagine that's how you're telling me that Henderson's getting ahead of Pogba because he's more hard-working. Is that it?
I never said that.
You know what works hard, bruv? My washing machine,
He's also
bruv.
a top quality player, by the way. If
No,
you
he's
watch
not.
football, you would know that. If you watched our team,
Nah.
you would know that. You would know
Bruv.
that. Honestly, he's a fantastic midfielder. One of the best in Europe at the minute, with the way he's playing and with the way he's been playing over the past 2 seasons.
One of the best in Europe.
It's not a loser thing to say. It's not a loser thing to say. KG, I understand you're making them groans, mate. I really, really do. From someone who might not watch Liverpool, I understand it. But if you watch Liverpool, you'll understand it.
In fact,
you said if Henderson, it's because Henderson is English, he gets rated. In fact, I think that's why he's very underrated. If he was called Jordan Hendo, mate, he'd be getting the praise that he actually deserves. But because he's Jordan Henderson,
if he was Brazilian, they would have shipped him ages ago. He wouldn't even be here to be singing this song. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm being 100%. Yeah, you see, your manager is like Mac makeup, blood, because he's making everything look good.
Because you're right about that as well.
You see Jordan Henderson, yeah, he looks decent in your system. When he plays for England, when he plays for England, he looks dead, bro.
Jurgen Klopp has been able to bring the best out of a Jordan Henderson.
England, he looks dead,
what
fam.
I'm seeing from a Jordan Henderson is one of the best. Don't people misquote me on that. One of the best midfielders we've had in the league, and we've had some great midfielders in the league. He's easily up there, and he's easily one of the best midfielders to be in the Prem. I'm not like putting above Roy Keane and all that, but mate, what he's done recently from where he came to where he is now, of course he is. That's my opinion on the table. Jordan Henderson.
Honestly,
I definitely have him above Pogba.
Klopp is a makeup artist, blood. I'm telling you, he's a makeup artist because he's making Henderson look decent.
No, Henderson's making Henderson look decent.
Nah, bro, because how come when your ballers go play for England, they all look crap then?
Mate, like I said to you before, Rants,
even your right back looks rubbish when he plays for England as well.
Watch England. I really don't. It doesn't mean he's a bad player. The thing is, you've got a good manager who, is bringing the best out of them, but they're still performing to that level. Jordan Henderson is still performing to that level. Maybe not for England, a team, by the way, that he goes away with every 6 months or whatever. But how many players do have a consistent run of games where the fantastic bar 1 or 2? Very few, do you know what I mean? It's just our team, the team that we've got. You're right, Jurgen Klopp has put it in his system to the point where we are a better team. That's what a good manager does. But you need good players to follow them instructions. There's players like Benteke, he never ends up being a class player at Liverpool just because we had Jurgen Klopp. There's many examples. Karius didn't turn out to be a good player at Liverpool just because we had Jurgen Klopp. These players have worked hard. They fell into the philosophy of what Klopp has had to offer to them. Jordan Henderson. When we talk about Harry Kane and his rejuvenation, it's like Henderson had that similar thing a couple of years ago. He was shit. Liverpool fans didn't like him. And this is why I'm just trying to say to you, Liverpool fans aren't just saying this because the Liverpool fans. I never used to like Henderson. I used to say, how is he our captain? And just as soon as possibly 3-4 years ago, before we went to the final and stuff, and he actually started putting in more of a shift. Before that, I agree with you, Rants. He was a sideways passer, nothing to offer, stale, didn't even think about going forward. But what he's done in the past 3 or 4 seasons, right now, both Pogba in my team.
Well, James, I just want to ask a question because we talk about taking players from other teams and putting them in other players. Would they be the same?
Put Henderson next to McTominay. Oh my lord! If you want to see,
look at Pogba next to McTominay. Look at Pogba next to McTominay.
Yeah, bagged an absolute worldie, bro, and carried McTominay. Carried McTominay, bro. Carried McTominay. Carried him.
If Henderson goes to, say, a Bayern Munich, we're talking about another top club, right? Without the guidance of Klopp, and because I mean, I myself know how much of a manager influences players. Right now, I'm seeing it now. Do you think that he would have the same influence, say, in a Bayern Munich team as he does at Liverpool?
You mentioned Klopp, and I will answer your question, and I'm not trying to jump my way around it. Believe me, I will give you the specific answer. But you said Jurgen Klopp made Henderson this way. The thing is, he's got to see something in Henderson to make him that way, to make him that good of a player. It's a mixture of the mental side of things and the physical side of things. So you ask me, just one of the best managers at the moment, the best manager in the world is Jurgen Klopp, who sees Henderson. And when he came in, Henderson weren't good. He sees Henderson as that. Do I think another top manager in a Bayern Munich team with them type of players, because you mentioned system before, and another great system. Yeah, I do think he could get in the team. Don't get me wrong, very difficult. Needs to maintain the levels. But from what I've seen, and I don't watch Bayern Munich.
You think he would get in the Bayern Munich team?
I think there's a shout. I mean, unless you name me 3 players where I'd just be wiped off at the moment. But yeah, I just don't. I think you're massively disrespecting Henderson and people in the chat.
No, but honestly, bro, this brother barely can start ahead of Declan Rice, bro.
why are you bringing up England again? I don't watch England.
No, because I'm saying Declan Rice plays for West Ham, bro, and he's better than Jordan Henderson.
What I can say for Liverpool, wow, that's mad. That is mad. That is mad. That's crazy. Declan Rice is not a better player than Jordan
not mad,
Henderson.
bro.
Just shows you don't.
I think the only people that rate Jordan Henderson that high, yeah, are Liverpool fans because you know of the impact he has as a character.
No,
in a club system, bro.
We saw him play shit as a player as well. We saw him play crap as a player. Now we're seeing him play good as a player. It's not just character. That's where you're wrong. That's where you are wrong, and it's not just an opinion. He's got more than character. He's got more than that. He's got ability. That just shows you don't watch him.
What does he do on the What does he do on the ball? Yeah, what does he do on the ball?
He can pass the ball. He can dribble it well. I'm not trying to say he's the top 10 dribbler like what you're saying, but he can control the ball. He's good at close feet. He can pass the ball short.
I'm taking Calvin Phillips. I'm taking Calvin Phillips over him. I'm taking Declan Rice over him.
I don't guess what, Rants. I don't give two shiny.
Alan at Everton, yeah. If you had Alan, that's at Everton, yeah, in your midfield,
he wouldn't go above Hendo. He wouldn't go above Hendo
instead of Fraud and Henderson.
This is what you're wrong. This is where you're wrong. Do you know when Thiago came in? He weren't coming in to replace Hendo. He's coming in to replace Gini or Fabinho. He's not coming in to replace Hendo. Do you want me to tell you why? Because Henderson is just that good. He's just that good, and you just don't see it.
Wowzer. Nah, bro. I respect the impact he has, but man said he's nah.
You don't.
You're bringing him in conversations you don't deserve him, bro.
Don't say you.
Bayern Munich, they wouldn't even let him fry the sausages, mate.
Don't say that you respect the game that he has, because seriously, you do not respect Jordan Henderson after the words that you've just uttered, my mate. Trust me, you do not respect the impact that he has on my team.
Bro, they wouldn't let him fry the sausages in Munich. I swear down. They wouldn't. They wouldn't. No, I get it. I get that he means a lot to your team. He lifted the cup and all that. But fam, it's a mad thing, innit, bro? Like, man's like he's in speaking about him in conversation. Okay. You don't deserve to be in. This is mad.
I want to ask in a different context, because I think what it is, James, is that Liverpool fans, of course,
keep going, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Let J-Mo cool down a bit, bruv.
Yeah,
you know them.
No, it's fine. I will cool him down, man. Listen. No, you know what it is, James?
KG, I'm fucking fuming. Now that he's gone, I'm
I know. We're gonna bring it down.
I'm not being delusional. I'm genuinely telling you my opinion. By the way, everyone in the chat.
It's okay. I'm gonna give you some context here, because I was one of those people, that would say, "My God, man, Henderson, this guy, man, why they keep talking about him?" And you know why it is? It's because it's what gets involved when his name gets brought up in the Player of the Year conversations. To me, he's a good player, but not one of those that you should say Player of the Year, because then when you put his compilation together and say that this is your player, it looks funny. When you've also got Mane, Salah, Trent Alexander that do so much more.
But when he's not in the team.
Yeah. But do you understand when people say, how can you say that Jordan Henderson is Player of the Year over someone like KD, who's given 20+ assists, so many goals? Do you get why people?
The player that did. I understand that. I understand to the levels.
And I'm not saying he's like KDB. I'm talking about when they're saying Jordan Henderson deserves Player of the Year. But and you've also got to admit in context as well, when you won that league last season, whether he had injury problems or not, he's captain for you. But he's getting subbed off at, say, 70 minutes sometimes, whatever it is, tactical or fatigue. Sometimes he gets subbed off at 70, 80 minutes, which is not really very often for a captain. So I think that's where sometimes people go overboard, I would say, with the Henderson hate, because I know I was there too, where I'm like, God, I don't rate it, but I do rate that he's a top professional. Yeah. I was there. I do rate him as a top professional on the pitch, and the influence that he has in the changing room, and those are big attributes. I also see that he passes the ball well, and he's got a good first touch. But do you get on that level there, taking all the hyperbole of Rants out of it? Do you get the hype? The thing there.
Yeah, 100. Listen, my mate, I understand when people don't watch a Liverpool team week in, week out and watch it like the way I watch a Liverpool team, for example. And maybe then people would say, but why do you need to watch a team so closely to realise how good of a player it is? It's like, no, it's what you're looking out for. Maybe he doesn't do, but he does that and everything else. It's a player as a whole. We're talking about a player as a whole. We're not just bringing individual attributes. And I'm glad that you gave him the respect there, KG. However, I do want to just say, I do understand when he's being brought into a Player of the Year. Like, I'm trying to think of a good example of a player that, like, just had a sort of change. And if you told me they were going to be in the Player of the Year, it would have been a bit mad. Like, even Jordan Henderson, it's like if you told me that he was going to be a Player of the Year at the end, I'd be like, you're having it off, mate. And I don't think he was the Player of the Year last season, by the way. I do think it was probably De Bruyne. I don't think it was. However, you're talking about Paul Pogba, who hasn't been in form for years. You're talking about other players and stuff like that. Like Jordan Henderson has been stepping up. And I'm not saying that you're wrong for thinking that Henderson is well below Pogba, and I'm not saying you're wrong for this and that. I think you're wrong, but it doesn't mean you are wrong. I'm just trying to say to you, you do, like Rants, and I'm not trying to start another fucking argument, but it's like you clearly don't respect the impact that he makes because
I do.
You give him more. You don't because you give him more respect.
Impact is not
you give him more respect
with his ability.
Impact's everything. Impact is everything. Impact. If Jordan Henderson isn't in that Brighton game, Rants, we don't go on to win that game if he doesn't get subbed on at half time. If he doesn't get subbed on,
I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. Yeah, all the way 100 with you. Yeah, you have an amazing system and an amazing manager. You have one world-class midfielder in your whole team. Yeah, and that's Thiago.
So you're saying Fabinho isn't a world-class midfielder?
I guess you could argue Fabinho in there. Do you know what I'm saying? But I tell you what, Henderson isn't. Do you know what I mean? Genie isn't. Cater isn't if he even plays. Oxlade-Chamberlain isn't.
I don't think Katie and Ox and all that, and I won't even
see they're not. So because of that,
Hendo is.
So because of that, Hendo's not world class. Do you know what I mean? He's not. So because of this, the reason why you're looking at impact and that
Champions League team and all of that, lad, he is a world class.
It doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter. No, because it's the system.
It's the most impactful player in a great team. He's the most impactful player.
It's the system, bro.
In fact, I said it at the start.
The reason why he's so impactful is because you don't have better players than him, And the reason why, because your midfielders ain't that good. We don't
have better players than him. We don't have better players than him.
But your midfielders aren't good, though.
You're talking about Fabinho. They're world class, but Hendo isn't world class.
Bro, I'm not being funny, But even my team, who's not that good,
makes sense.
Bruno, Pogba, Donny van de Beek are better than all of your midfielders, bro. Bar Thiago, They are.
Mad, you're waffling.
They are, bro.
Like fucking mad. You're waffling like a crazy bar, lad. It's mad.
They are, bro.
It's mad. They're not.
Your midfielders aren't that good, bro.
This is all you're doing. You're going, these are good for this reason. Like, you're not giving me any specifics to why these are better. You're just saying Van der Beek's better, Paul Pogba's better, Ndombele's better. Like, lad, you're naming all these crazy names.
Bro, Ndombele's better than all your midfielders.
Lol.
He is.
Better than Thiago.
Bruv, Thiago's one of my favourite players, so no, I'm not talking about Thiago. Thiago's top 3 midfielders in the world for me. Outside of him, all the rest of your midfielders can't chat to Ndombele.
Rephrase your sentences to fuck, Rants, because honestly, it's mad the way that you're coming in with that energy about Hendo. Hendo, you're talking about before, there's no players better than Hendo, and then you're saying there's 2 world-class players in our team, but Hendo isn't in
I'm not including him in his position. I'm not including him. Because if I've got to choose between playing, like a proper world-class DM, if you had one,
you have to be a world-class player.
You would realize
Liverpool team. You have to be a world-class player. Yeah, you do. And Henderson is a world-class player.
So all your players are world-class, That's why you win things.
I think our starting 11 is world-class. I really do. That's just me, though. People will call me biased.
I think you have a world-class manager. You have a world-class manager. You have a great system, and it works well as a unit. Do you know what I mean? You don't have 11 world-class players. You don't. Because how many of them players go into other teams, and make them better straight away?
Is this where we go into the argument about what is world-class? Is this where we go into the
argument? We don't need to go in the argument, because my thing is, my thing is, with your players, I'd say 90% of your players, if you take them out of your team and put them in another team, they don't even look like a fraction of who they are. They don't even look like a fraction of it, mate. I'm being 100% serious.
If
you go and put Joel Matip, in Crystal Palace, no one's talking about it.
On paper, what they've done, it's on paper. I don't need to say no.
Because football's a team game. You cannot be world class.
Exactly, and they're all.
You cannot be world class,
because they're good players.
So when Man United won the treble, all of our players were world class. No, they weren't.
Just think of the starting 11 that we had when Klopp first came in and look.
Hey, KG, were all of our players World Cup? Hey guys, were all the Man United players world class when they won the treble? Yes or no?
This is where you define world class, though. What's world class to you? Because we might be talking about 2 completely different things. A world-class player to me is someone that plays well week in, week out. And furthermore, people bring up trophies. They've all won straight. I think Fabinho is world-class, I do.
No, not Fabinho, Firmino.
Firmino. Right now and over the past year and a bit, no. I think the credit that he has in the bank allows him to be in that conversation. But over the past 2 seasons, no.
Okay. Right. Fair.
Nah, bro. It's systems, bro. Yeah, I mean, you can say the same about your
Nah.
team, KG. How many of your players leave your team, yeah, and look as good as they do with Bielsa?
Can't compare.
Honestly.
No offense to Leeds, you can't compare.
You can compare it because great coaches,
he's not talking it. No,
great coaches, yeah, have players, playing above their level, bro. Because collectively,
Sir Alex Ferguson was famous for doing that. Look at Man United players that left, all them guys.
This guy used to play Fabio De Silva centre mid, and we got away with it.
Yeah. So I know what he's saying. He's not talking about trophy comparisons. He's talking about if you take a player out of that coach's hands, is he going to be as effective in another one? We've probably
that's ifs. So that's
I know.
That's a different dimension.
It's not even ifs, bro.
I hate
no, it is. It is.
It's not ifs. So how come these players? How come your players don't look that good for England?
Liverpool and they're playing world class. So
why do they look shit for England then? If they're so good,
everyone's shit for England. Name players that are consistent for England. Harry Kane. Name a few others that are consistent for England.
You're saying Harry Kane, because he's their world-class player.
Lads, you're mad. And
he's their world-class player.
They play around him. They literally revolve the team around Harry Kane.
He's literally their world-class player.
Rightly so. But
hey, just before we have to wrap up,
and they've got a shit manager. They don't know how to use a good player. Are you mad?
Yeah, I can agree because Calvin Phillips is a completely different thing than they does for Leeds. But before we wrap up, we got to touch on the Millwall thing, right?
Yeah.
In terms of that, I on my video earlier against Club number 2, I said that these clubs have a perfect opportunity with the limited amount of fans now. Just to say, like when you're in school and you're looking forward to leaving early, then one person ruins it and you all have to stay behind. The clubs now have got the perfect opportunity now to say, well, this 2000 obviously didn't work. Sorry about the minority that didn't, boo, but you're gonna have to go on the X with those lot. Let's get a new 2000 in and see how you guys get on.
You said that the other week as well, KG. You said that the other week. You were worried that something could interfere with maybe delaying it even more.
I said that this was all gonna happen. Pete, and I said it in my video also. These owners don't care about fans come back. They just want the money. You guys, we're all customer numbers to these people. And when you work in finance, you realize that people aren't people. They're customer numbers. And that's exactly what we are. So when you got a situation now where you got these 2,000 that most of them misbehaved, this isn't a minority, it's a majority. So you just say, right, this 2,000 didn't work. Let's get 2,000 more out of the ballot and see how these guys get on. That's the way you can. You can't punish people for booing. So you can't fine them or whatever it is. You just have to say, well, that 2,000 didn't work. Let's see how someone else gets on. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Listen, lads, I completely agree with what you're saying in terms of, like, you made a good point a couple of weeks ago when you brought up, like, the minority could mess it up for the bigger amount. But to be honest, even when I saw the clip, don't get me wrong, I was very shocked. I even went to see if the audio was fake and one of the meme pages had just put audio over it or whatever. Disgrace. And I even put on my story that it was a disgrace, and then you even had Millwall fans, fucking idiots, coming in and saying, like, oh, it's because we don't like politics in the game. No, that's where you just don't see the bigger message, and that's where you're deluded as just a person, let alone anything else. So it's mad. It's just crazy how even the way, like, one person starts booing and then another, it's mad the way, like, I would like to think I'm a good enough person that even if I'm in that situation, I'd have enough respect to even look at all these people who are supposedly my people around me. I would feel I have enough inside me to not join into that crowd. And when you know what the purpose of the 1 knee is for as well, by the way, don't get me wrong, if you don't know, but they all knew. They're not stupid. They're adults. That they were booing because it's political. Ridiculous, mate. And it's just like there is no place for that in football, and there's no place for them fans in football. So you mentioned about that. It's a very easy thing. I mean, I had never seen all the games, but was there any other fans who did that over the weekend?
Colchester, and the Sheriffs come out. Yeah, Colchester and the Sheriffs already come out and said those guys aren't welcome back. If you feel that you can't stand people kneeling, we'll give you your money back and you can leave. Yeah. So, and you know what I'm saying? Those are the steps that you need to take. Now, for Millwall, no one's surprised, and that's the thing. Everyone expected it from that club. That is what you call the Brexit, but EDL club. You know what I'm saying? And I said in my video, I've never ever. We know all kinds of football fans, right? I've never ever met a cool Millwall fan. Never spoken to one.
Yeah, me neither.
Never ever known one. I know cool Chelsea fans. I know cool West Ham fans. I know cool Leeds fans, because there was Leeds fans in those things agreeing with it, and from other clubs. you know, all the flag guys, all Gaz 560,
Yeah.
and Helen with her short blonde hair and all that stuff. So if they can't get it out and say the next 2,000 do the exact same thing, you just have to take the privilege away and say, well, you guys obviously aren't ready to come back and be civilized people. Because you don't have to agree with the kneel at the start. If you really have that much in your heart that you say, I don't care about equality, just stay quiet, because there's plenty of things that black people and every other race stay quiet for white people's celebrations, but we don't go around booing it or nothing like that. So you know what I'm saying? It's as simple as that. If you don't agree, just stay quiet. It don't hurt. It don't last but what, 10 seconds at that.
You're right. You're right. It doesn't hurt to just shut your mouth if you have a disagreement on something crazy like that as well.
Yeah, but the thing is, they feel that passionately against it, yeah?
To feel like they have to make
but then they're going to boo it, and then they'll say that they're not racist.
Mm.
That's the joke of it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's ignorance. And you see with people like this, like, you just punish the whole club and you just ban all their fans. That's what I would do. I wouldn't say, oh yeah, we'll give them another 2,000, see how it goes. I'll ban all of them. Just punish the whole football club. Until they start taking racism seriously, I don't really care about this kneeling thing. Like, they might as well just, you know what I mean? They might as well scrap it now. I'm bored. Now, what does it mean? What does the kneeling mean, yeah, if the FA aren't going to punish teams? Like, properly.
Yeah.
If you're not going to introduce severe punishments, it means that really you don't give a shit. So if you don't care, then spare us the nonsense of the kneeling and just start the game, innit?
Yeah. I mean, I for a while I was thinking that this kneeling thing's losing its message and everything, but even Harry Kane came out with a good quote and saying, yeah, it's months down the line from the George Floyd thing. And a little kid might watch the Premier League for the first time and ask, what's this about? And you can re-educate the kids. So I agree, though. You know, in that sense, keep the knee. But for fans, I know I said give another 2,000 fans, because I just don't think Millwall have got it in them that the next 2,000 will be sensible. This is something they do over and over again. I mean, it's every single time. I mean, my club is certainly not innocent. Definitely not. But Millwall, it's a constant thing. Every season they've got something. They tried to give them that old community club of the year a couple of years ago just because, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Millwall. There's people saying liquidate Millwall. I would love that to happen, because I don't think anyone would miss them. I don't think.
No one would.
Yeah.
Now, no one would, though. Do you know what I mean? No amount of ex-players. And the thing is, they've got black players as well. That's the worst thing about it. Imagine being a black... But actually, as a black man, why would you even sign for that club? I don't even feel sorry.
I've said that before as well. I say I know 4 players have got to go and sign where they need to. But unless you've only got Millwall as your only sole option, why would you ever want to play for that club and do your best? Because they have a black player there now, and he's come out and said that he feels like they're against me. So at least he hasn't bitten his tongue and say, "Oh, I didn't hear anything," like like they would have done 4 years ago.
But they'll be like, "Oh, not you, mate, just the rest of them."
Yeah. I had that at Leeds game. I had it at the Leeds Southampton game where someone did a monkey chant to a Southampton player. I turned around, looked, and I said, and he goes, "Oh, not you, mate. You're one of us." I said, I was like, "Nah." But that's what I'm saying. But I had my little sister with me there, so nothing could have gone off. But that's what I'm talking about, man. Things like that. There is zero tolerance, and I'm giving a second chance when they don't deserve it, because they've had loads of chances. But I just know that they'll fail anyway.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. So the facts are, it starts at the top. Do you know what I mean? If the FA are not punishing these things properly, it shows how they really, really feel about the situation, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what it shows. Like, it doesn't matter what players say. It doesn't matter what managers say. The bottom line is, if the FA are not punishing these people, then genuinely they don't care. And I believe they don't care. So because of that, I don't see much changing.
Let's be real. They're doing it because at the time they had to. Don't get me wrong, it's the message they absolutely should spread. But they, as a brand, as the Premier League, they're only doing it because it looks good for us.
They were riding the wave. They were riding the wave.
So it's like, even now, like, if they took it away, people would start saying, "Oh, why are you taking it away? Are you against it?" But it's just like, they're only doing it, in my view, to only really soften anything that they do care. But I can't really say that they do in much else. I just think it's about the money in the pockets. Otherwise, Millwall fans wouldn't be allowed back in that stadium. Just
yeah. I mean, you only have to look at the 2 situations last season before the George Floyd thing. Huddersfield did a Paddy Power show commercial with Paddy Power going across it, and it was illegal. They got fined of like 50,000. Our goalkeeper gets found guilty of racial abuse. He gets an 8 ban and a much lesser fine. It just shows you where they're at with those kind of things. And also, it would be interesting because Troy Deeney came out today and said that if they booed him, or if they booed the Watford players and did that, they'd walk off. It'd be interesting to see there what punishment the Watford players the club would get compared to the club that's doing the booing. So that's my last thing on that.
Be very interesting, yeah.
Very, very true, man. Big up everyone that's watched. Do you know what I mean? Cracking show as usual. Lots of talking points. You know, like
Rants,
that.
am I allowed back on next Monday?
Bruv, of course. Listen, you know, bruv, you obviously don't know. You obviously don't know who I am, bruv. Like this is like work for me, bro.
Nah, obviously, lad, love. You know,
what I'm saying?
And everyone in the chat as well.
Bruv, football fans, we're not meant to agree, bruv. We're not meant to agree on everything. That's your club. Do you know what I mean? You're gonna defend your players. I'm gonna defend mine if I feel like they deserve it. Some of them don't. You know them ones like it. Bruv, it is what it is, bruv. This is what we do. You know what I'm saying? This is what we do. This is what we do in the group chat, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? But that's it. So we see what happens, bro. You know what I'm saying, bro? That was good banter, though. You know what I'm saying? Big up everyone in the
chat. Legends.
Come on, make sure you follow the boys. Man. You already know it. James Redmond TV. Do you know what I mean? KageyPOV on YouTube. Make sure you follow the lads. Do you know what I mean? If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you interact with the comments, smash the like, and then click the link in the title to make sure you follow the boys. You already know what it is, man. Back again tonight, 10 o'clock. I'm gonna absolutely destroy Dapo.
He's not ready, man. He ain't ready for this.
Bruv, literally, he needs to come with security, bruv. He does, doesn't he? He needs to come with security because he's getting cooked, bruv. Like, honestly, he's getting
cooked for fucking breakfast.
Cooked, man.
Love.
Do you know what I'm saying? What I'm gonna do to him is gonna be so bad, and even if he comes on the humble tip, to try and lessen the blow, I'm kicking him while he's down. I've decided he's not getting out. He's not getting away with it, bro. I don't care. You can come with the humble tip, like, we're rubbish. I know. No, I don't care.
Yeah.
Nah. Do you know what I mean? He's getting pammed tonight, like, in 4K, blood. I don't care. This is what we're doing, bro. Big up everyone on Twitch, bro. You get the full HD as well. The full HD. He's getting flogged, man. I'm telling you. So this is what we're doing, man. Big up everyone inside. Do you know what I'm saying? Man's going to catch you lot tonight, 10 o'clock. Don't miss it.